Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death, the solo campaign of the evil cleric Solomon the Cruel. Yeah. How's it going?
It's going well. It's going well.
Are you ready to, I don't know.
Hey,
Everybody, oh
and
god, I can hear
welcome back
myself.
to
Oh
Dicing with
no.
Death. What have you
Okay.
done?
I accidentally had the stream on, so it started repeating myself.
All
It's
right.
fine. We fixed it.
Any announcements you need to make, or
No, just I'm gonna fuck your shit up. Or,
fuck some shit up?
yeah,
Why don't we recap last session,
go for it.
both of us? See if I can even remember.
So last session, I wanted to blow up the tower, but I
Yeah.
quickly realized that it was magical and could not blow it up.
Yeah. So why don't we pull up last session's map? If we'd like.
Yeah.
So last session took place entirely in the city of Solstice, port city on the edge of the forest. Let's see what you. I can't remember what you did.
Let's see. I blew off a person's hand by testing gunpowder in a little barrel.
Yeah.
I tried to blow up the library. Did some damage, not a lot. I murdered a cleric who was trying to heal me. Not a cleric, but a healer who was trying to heal me.
Yeah, that was after you got mugged in the alley, right?
I got mugged in the alley.
By a couple of unscrupulous fellows, one of which was like a giant dog-like humanoid.
Yeah.
You had a run-in with a fully robed figure with a blade. Called himself the Moonblade. Who is presumably one of the Knights of Solstice.
Right. But he was kind of sketchy.
Something like that, yeah. So I think that was pretty much what you did in the city. And then eventually you wound up getting in a tussle with your innkeeper over I'm not sure what, but you decided to stab him.
I didn't want him to find the body that I had hidden underneath my bed.
Right. So you brought him up to your room.
To kill him. And I was going to hide him under my bed, too.
Yeah. And then he wound up stabbing you and criticaling you and knocking you unconscious.
Yeah.
Jail. You used your newfound second level spells to conjure up a minor air spirit in the form of a whirlwind to take down one of the knights guarding you, break your way out of the cell. You freed all of the prisoners.
All the prisoners.
Including your muggers.
Including my muggers.
And set them on the guards.
Yeah.
Escaped.
Yeah.
I think shortly after, so you found like a back exit near the port, near the docks. Shortly after escaping, I think you were approached by Lucifron, our Moonblade, who rushed you onto a ship and said, "You got a GTFO."
And we GTFO'd.
Yep. And then, so we sailed out. You did notice that the dog-faced man is on your boat out of town with you.
And there was some wizard watching us from the...
as you were pulling out of port on sort of like a little peninsula jutting out of the land. There was a robed old man with a long beard and no hair, or no bald head and long beard, looking at you wearing a cloak that looked like it was stitched together from eyeballs. Eyeballs, half of which seemed to be looking at you.
Which is why I did not try and piss in his face and instead just went below deck.
It's a couple hundred feet away. I'd be impressed if you could piss that far. I think that's higher than the second level spell.
Well, I didn't mean literally piss in his face, but, in his general direction.
All right. So that, I believe, is where we left off. Was there anything we needed to... anything we missed?
No, I think that's it.
Pick up. Can you remind me what spells you would have left? Do you have that written down or no?
I would have PM'd you.
Oh, no, here we go. So you used in the Skype chat from last week.
Right.
You've used a Dust Devil.
I used a Cure Moderate Wounds.
Cure Moderate Wounds, and that healed you to full. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
So you should have 2 Cure Light Wounds, a Darkness, a Cause Fear, and a Cause Moderate Wounds. I don't know that it will matter. You'll probably get a chance to rememorize before any action happens, but...
Yeah.
Okay. So you are on this large ship heading out of port. You let's say, I think it's probably 40 oars.
Okay.
So 20 aside,
Sail
double
deck.
mast.
Okay.
So it's one of the smaller ships, but it's still a
Right.
ship. So it's probably not fully crewed. You'd guess there's maybe altogether 30 or 40 crew.
Mm-hmm.
You seem to be one of the only passengers. So you and the Moonblade, and then the Dogface Man appears to be traveling as crew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I guess I'll let you take over here. I mean, you don't know how long the voyage is, but you imagine you'll be on ship for a while, so you can tell me what you'd like to do.
I don't actually want to cause any trouble on the ship. I'm
Uh-huh.
afraid any trouble I cause would get me killed, a la sinking the ship, or killing people who know how to sail it. So I'm actually going to play it cool and just chill out
But I
aboard the
assume you're
ship.
going to want to ask some questions or have some conversations with people, or
Yeah, I want to ask where the ship is going.
Okay. To who are you going to strike up with? Sailors or?
One of the sailors walking around.
Okay. Oh, what did I total? Did I did not even switch the map to whatever. That's fine.
No.
I'm staring at the map of Solstice when I did that whole recap.
Oh, no, the rest of us were looking at a blank screen.
Okay, we can do a 5-second look at where we spent last session that I was explaining and gesturing to for the last couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And then back to the map that has nothing on it except for Fog of War at this point.
Yeah.
So one of the crew tells you that we're heading northwest across the sea. The destination is a port city called Sinteron.
Okay, Sinteron.
So after conversation with this sailor and then a few other sailors who aren't, so they seem to take rotating shifts.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, everyone oars out to sea or whatever, and then eventually there's only a couple guys manning sails or ropes at a time, so you're able to chat with people here and there.
Okay.
You gather it's on a river delta near a jungle or in a jungle.
Okay.
Yeah, northwest across the sea. Any specifics you're looking for?
No. I just kind of want to. I want to figure out as much about this new town that I'm going to as possible. What sort of people are in it? How big is it? Et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You get the impression that it's a trade, the main trade city for the region you're heading to, for the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of people? You get the impression it's probably quite diverse, and it sounds like it's less organized than what you're used to. So as in little centralized government and more of a, I don't know, dog eat dog kind of situation.
My kind of city.
We'll see how you feel about that. Yeah, so you can ask questions if you'd like, or we can just...
I want to know, you said less central government. What do they have a particular god or pantheon that they worship?
Not that you are able to gather from the sailors.
Can I get a population size, roughly?
We're
talking hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands?
Probably hundreds to 1,000.
Okay.
Impression you get.
Okay.
You're just piecing this together from various conversations.
Right. I'm just trying to round to the nearest order of magnitude.
Yeah. It sounds like it's less, I don't know, organized or centralized than you're used to. So a lot of the questions you're asking don't quite seem to be hitting to the point.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm ready.
You're ready.
How long is the voyage?
It sounds like it'll be about a week at sea.
Okay.
And you find it within probably an hour or two, you're struck with seasickness.
What?
Which
I have 5 con. Why should I be seasick?
Which tends to stick with you throughout the voyage. Okay. It's not like debilitating, but
yeah.
every couple of hours you find yourself leaning over this. They feed you. It's not good, like jerky and hard bread, but
Right, but there's food.
it seems like your passage has been paid, including this. You find the Moonblade tends to keep to himself most of the time. You're not even really sure where he is or how he's hiding on such a small ship, but
Okay.
you don't see. I mean, you see him from time to time, but
Okay, but it's not like he's disappeared from the ship.
no. But I mean, it's a small ship for how little of him you've seen. It seems.
At one point, I do want to ask him why he's coming with me.
So for your information, he wears his cloak and his mask at all times.
Okay.
You've yet to see his face. So you ask him why he's coming with you. He replies to secure my investment, make sure you don't run off.
What exactly do you think I'm going to be doing over here?
I'm sure you have your own goals and purposes, but we did make a deal.
Yeah, we did. But I may not be hanging around this town for far too long. I have my plans for what I'd like to do in life, and they do include travel.
It's not the town we're heading to, is it?
What do you mean?
That isn't your final destination.
I don't have a final destination yet.
He
But I'm
nods.
definitely going to stop here and have some fun. I may even ask you to help out with a thing or two if you're actually looking to secure your investment. I'm involved in some pretty risky things. You may find assisting me with the spreading of chaos and destruction to be within your goals.
I expect as much. One as frail as yourself will probably need more than just my help.
Excellent.
Okay. As I described before, he seems to have a soothing musical voice, and as sketchy as he seems, you have a hard time disliking him or just trusting him. I don't. He's just his voice has a soothing quality to it.
Okay.
Okay. Anything specific you want to do, or shall we fast forward?
Let's fast forward.
Okay. Over the voyage, you see some sea critters you've never seen before. I doubt your character's ever seen the ocean, unless
Never. Yeah.
you have yet to fill me in on most of your backstory, but I assume you've led a reasonably sheltered life. Yeah, some marine mammals and giant fish. And, for the first day or so, some birds overhead. So let's, I guess, skip forward a few days. Let's say, so it's been, are you trying to keep track of the days, or are you?
No, Oris doesn't give a shit. Solomon doesn't give a shit.
Okay, so you guess it's been 3 days. Do you want to have had prayed for new spells at some point?
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to keep the same. Well, I'm going to get rid of the cures.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, shit. Hold on. What exactly do we have? Let's do. We're going to do one is going to be CA. CA is going to be cause, CU is going to be cure.
Okay.
So
I will. So you're used to using it to cause illness, but you could probably use an orison to deal with some of your seasickness.
Okay.
Just throwing that out there. I don't know.
Fuck it, I'll just be seasick.
Need from your god. Yeah, that's fine. If you do wind up getting in a fight, I may throw in some penalties depending on how con checks go. But
Okay. If we get in a fight at sea.
At sea, which you presume is unlikely.
Yeah, my character has no
asked directly about it, but you haven't overheard anything about.
Yeah, in his mind, he's totally safe on this ship. That there's no way any trouble could even come. Like he thinks that at sea he's impenetrable. Like he could see for miles around. Like where could trouble possibly come from? He doesn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
He is somewhat ignorant in his pride.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're gonna do hesitation. So that's what I'm gonna do for first and second level spells.
Go
Cause
ahead.
light wounds, darkness, cause fear, call upon faith, cause medium wounds, dust devil, and hesitation.
Hesitation
Is the
targets.
time one? It slows their initiative by 4.
Oh, that's cool. Everyone or one person?
Um, area of effect, 20-foot radius.
Oh, cool, cool. Okay. So you do. I rolled a religion check for you. You are aware that your god has little influence over the ocean, just in general. It's not on an individual level. It's not going to affect your spells,
Right.
but in terms of like if you came up against some monstrous sea god or something like that, Beelzebub would probably be powerless to intervene.
That's fine. I doubt there's any. He's pretty arrogant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you'd guess it's probably the third day, the third night. And you wake up in the middle of the night. So you're sleeping in the hold somewhere with the cargo. The crew has more cramped quarters, but they've sort of set you up in like a makeshift, a little makeshift private area behind some boxes in the cargo hold. Somehow Lucifron managed to talk the captain into giving him his quarters. So Lucifron is sleeping in the captain's quarters, and the captain is in a similar situation to you with like a weird little private thing set up in the cargo hold.
Okay.
All right, so you wake up in the middle of the night and find yourself feeling ill, and you stagger above deck
Okay.
to relieve yourself, and you see sort of a robed figure hanging out the back of the ship.
Is this unusual?
Usually at night there's a night watch who mans the steering wheel, and that's about it. Maybe one or two sailors. So it's not. I mean, it's not like, oh my god.
Right, but I've seen robed people about the ship. It's not like it's some random person like who appeared on the ship, right? It's
No.
okay.
I mean, it's just you pop up the staircase towards
All
the front of the ship, and yeah.
I got to relieve myself.
Okay, yeah, you do. Okay, yeah. You notice that it's the Moonblade.
Okay.
It appears to be leaning over the back, doing something. And yeah,
I can take a peer at him for a few moments. I'll watch for like 20 seconds or until he turns around.
you do notice that his hood is down for the first time you've seen, and you see the moon catches his hair, which appears to be white or platinum blonde or something of the sort. It's the first time I've ever seen him unrobed. Long, straight, platinum blonde hair. He's facing from you at the moment.
Yeah.
He's doing something with his hands, or he's shifting.
If his hood's down, I will slowly start walking his
His hood
direction.
is, down isn't off.
Right.
Yeah, right. Isn't back. Okay.
I'll slowly start walking his direction, kind of like a tiptoeing, quiet. I'm sneaking up, but not like I'm sneaking up slowly. Like I'm not trying to rush it.
Okay.
Just carefully edge my way bit by bit.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're able to creep a little closer without catching his attention. He appears to be shaving with the blade doesn't catch the moonlight, so some sort of non-metallic blade.
He's shaving?
Shaving.
I guess everyone's got to shave at some point.
However, you do notice he has elven pointy ears.
Disgusting elven spawn. How close to the edge is he?
Are you leaning up against the...
Leaning up against it.
Mm-hmm. Like shaving off the edge of the back edge of the ship. It's sort of... So there's like a... I don't know if we'll actually need it, so I'm too lazy to draw the ship. But there's a raised section on the back where the steering wheel on the...
Steering wheel's in the back.
Usually on the back. So there's that raised section with like the captain's quarters and the steering wheel. And then there's like around the back, there's a small 5-foot balcony.
Yeah.
Sort of off to the side behind the steering wheel and that raised platform.
Right. Okay.
So you imagine that the guy on watch probably doesn't have direct view unless he leans over.
Okay. Where is the guy on watch?
Right above you on the steering wheel. It's like a maybe 10 foot elevated portion with the captain's quarters beneath it.
Okay, the Moonblade is shaped. I could push him off the edge right now, I bet. I bet I could. I'm not going to. Because as much as I want to push him off the edge, I have a feeling that would not go well.
You suddenly recall the last time you tried to, I don't remember what you did. You lured him out of, or you asked him outside of the bar to talk in private, and you tried to like stab him or something.
I was gonna cast cause light wounds on him with.
Oh yeah, you tried to touch him, and you found it oddly difficult to get a grip.
Yeah.
So
No,
he's
Solomon's going to wait.
or something of the sort.
I feel this person's usefulness is not over yet. I can get more out of him.
Fair enough. So how long do you want to hang out on deck?
If I want to keep walking up closer to him, if possible, I want to spook him. Not spook him, but surprise him, and you know, tap him on his shoulder or something.
Okay. So you can go ahead and roll a dex check real quick. To give you the illusion of having some control in the matter.
Right. 24.
Okay. So you think you're being sneaky. You, I don't know, tiptoe up behind him, and then you're about 10 feet away, and you see, and he totally just turns to face you.
I want to get a good look at his face right now if I can.
It looks elven. He looks like he's finished shaving. I don't know, high cheekbones, strong features, chiseled from granite. Quite handsome, actually.
Okay.
I don't know what more you're looking for. There's no like defining features or scars or anything.
Okay.
Of the,
Pointy ears, but beard.
He looks like he has no beard. I mean, he's clean shaven now.
Okay.
But
yeah. Can I get a look at the knife in his hand?
He's discreetly shoved it away, but as he's putting it away, it looks like a. I mean, your character wouldn't know this, but like one of those ceramic blades. If you've seen them.
As seen on TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's quickly cheat
I didn't know you had a face.
Everyone has a face. So.
Yeah. But I've seen it now. Does that mean I'm going to die?
He smiles. Big, wide grin. No teeth.
No teeth? Does he have no teeth, or does he just not show
He
teeth?
doesn't show his teeth when he smiles.
Okay.
Says, no, but no.
All right.
But it is.
I didn't realize that you were half elf.
To keep the face concealed.
Yeah.
Or more importantly, the ears.
Yeah. Half elf, eh?
Does that surprise you?
Well, doesn't surprise me at all. Elves are a bastard race that are known to infest the world.
He wasn't laughing at us.
Yeah. Half elves are just the sad, depressing outcome of human and elf interactions where the elves don't know their place.
The bastard sons, some would call us.
Some would call you that. A lot of half elves back where we just left from. Solstice. A lot of half elves.
You noticed?
Uh-huh.
Yes, it's an accepting city. Not to mention the order.
Well, for now, at some point I will return to Solstice, and I will destroy it.
I would aim lower if I were you.
One day. One day. And I go back to my quarters.
Okay. As you're walking away, you sort of catch out of the corner of your eye, he seems to have perked up at something.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wish... So like
yeah, I mean, if he perks up at something, I'll glance at it.
You're maybe like 20 feet away, about to head back down to the hold. Then you're You're not usually this observant, but you see him cock his head, and it sounds like he's caught something with his elven ears.
Okay, I'll turn and look at him and wait.
And he turns and looks out to sea.
Something we should be worried about?
You shout this to him?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll not shout. It's 20 feet. I'll speak loudly.
He says, no, it sounds like a good omen.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
elves. Fucking elves, I say as I walk away.
Okay.
Sounds like a good omen.
You see him casting some sort of spell.
I ignore it and go down below deck. I feel he's on my side. And I can trust him.
All right.
I go below deck.
Okay. All right. Your hold is somewhat, or you're like directly beneath where he is.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, yes, you are, but you're below water, so you actually don't hear anything. All right.
I'm below water?
Yeah, the cargo hold is underwater.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the end of that. Okay. All right. All right. Nothing happens. I mean, you go back to sleep. You wake up the next day. More of the same. Anything else, or shall we just continue to fast forward? Okay. You do over the course. I mean, you do wind up bumping into that dog-faced man a few times.
Mm-hmm.
You wish to. I mean, he doesn't. He recognize. I mean, he doesn't give you much more than a nod.
He doesn't give a shit about him.
Okay. Okay.
He can go fuck himself.
Okay, but he doesn't seem to hold any grudge or anything like that. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. So
I hold no grudge either, you know.
He doesn't start any conversation or anything like that.
Yeah. I actually have intentionally not tried to do anything to him because I figure if he gets off at the city, he's just going to cause. He's an evil person. He's going to go around doing evil shit. It helps me. Spreading evil, totally in line with me. So I'll let this guy live as long as he doesn't cross me.
Okay.
If he dares cross me one more time, though, I will fucking end his existence.
Okay.
I'll find his puppies and turn them into beef jerky.
All right. So, okay. So that day passes. That night passes. You don't find yourself waking up or anything. Next day passes. That next night, you wind up waking up sick again and going above deck and puking. And you notice that the Moonblade is in that same spot again, leaning over the deck.
Okay.
And this time, it sounds like he's talking.
Okay, if I go up to the area where the steering wheel is, I would be above him, right?
Yes, you would. Yeah, but you'd only be able to see him if you sort of like leaned over the edge.
I want to listen to him, so I want to kind of walk up the staircase on the far side, and then walk across and kind of just stand near the rail and see if I can overhear anything.
Okay. So the guy on duty is fast asleep, like passed out on the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wish to?
He's asleep at the wheel?
Yes. Actually, so he's not on the wheel. He's asleep. He's asleep at the wheel, but the wheel is like wedged with some, like he's got some stick wedging it.
Okay. Oh, fine. I'll let him sleep then.
Probably not what he's supposed to be doing, but.
But it's not going to harm our route, so I leave him be.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it sounds like he's speaking. The Moonblade is speaking in Elven.
Okay.
Ship. Do you approach the edge?
I speak Elven, so I listen.
Okay. It sounds pretty mundane. He's clearly talking to something other than himself.
Right.
Asking. Sounds like small talk, like asking questions like how the weather's been, some more nautical related small talk like the currents and the fish and shit. And then you hear. Yeah, and his voice in Elven sounds even more musical and beautiful than his voice in Common.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear a response. Sounds like a female voice.
Mm-hmm.
Also speaking in Elven. You just sort of starting to get your ears and tongue around the language, but it does sound like there's some sort of accent.
Okay. For the
Maybe
record,
not.
I've spoken Elven for a while. I've just
Oh,
learned to
right,
read
right.
Elven.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still okay? So it's not. I mean, you still don't know the accent.
Okay,
Right?
that's fine.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, I just stand nearby and listen. If anything interesting pops, let me know.
Okay. You don't. Okay. You don't look.
No, no, no. I do not look. I just want to listen.
It carries on like that. You don't gather anything interesting unless you're curious about the current patterns or the migration of whales.
No.
It sounds like he's. I mean, it sounds like he's flirting with this female figure.
Flirting with a
Quite
female figure.
effectively. And yeah, but also gathering information about boring ass shit. You get the impression that the female like lives in the water, or maybe on an island or something. You're a little confused by the course of the conversation. Like, why the hell would she know, about the amount of squid that are in this area, deep underwater, or something of the sort. Yeah, everything's straight ahead. They mention some population, the Sahuagin. You've never heard of it. They're particularly vicious lately, but
Okay. I mean, I'll just listen and remember what I can for later use if it comes up. But
yeah.
I try not to. I try to stay back away from the edge and just kind of.
Okay. Yeah, most of it seems pretty unimportant.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
I guess when they're done, I'll just wait for him to.
At some point, they say their goodbyes, and
All right, I wait for them.
Disappears.
Him to walk away.
Yeah, he walks. Yeah, you hear footsteps, and and a door open and close, and you assume he's gone back into his captain's quarters.
At this point, I go over to the sleeping sailor and I slap him in the face.
And he reaches for a sword at his belt that isn't there because he's
don't fall asleep. You're on duty.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, who? Oh, it's you. And he wakes up and grabs the steering wheel again and consults the stars or whatever, however sailors navigate, and steadies the course a little bit.
He pulls out his smartphone, checks Google Maps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
GPS coordinates.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And I head downstairs and go to sleep.
All right. You wake up the next day, as usual. Anything else you would care to do while at sea?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So you think it's probably the 8th day would be your guess. At first, you start to notice birds overhead. And then eventually you catch sight of something on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It almost looks like you see a point on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
A gray mass. And as you get closer, it looks to be like a gray peak or a series of peaks, and then a green mass sort of appears in front of it, and then some smaller gray masses in front of that. And if we want to go to are we on the right map page? Are we on the black one? I can start.
We're on the black one.
Yeah. Okay.
For those of you that see color.
Yeah. Let's see color.
Race color. It was a racism joke.
Okay. Can you see pings when I
can see pings within the revealed area, not outside of the revealed area.
All right. Well, I'll reveal it soon enough, and you can. Okay. So you're pulling in where that arrow is.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like I'll reveal more. Doo-doo-doo. Okay. So you see those islands sitting up there. They appear to be made of some sort of gray rock. There's some vegetation on there. I do have to have the arrow to ping. So that there looks to be some sort of village. You see a few huts.
Okay.
And your boat or your ship sort of heads up through that channel.
But these are villages are just on these gray rocky
Yeah, there's
hillsides?
gray rocky islands. There's some small amount of vegetation and trees and stuff on them.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna reveal a little more, and then you start just. So the whole horizon was sort of, what do you call it? Green before. So you see the shore through there.
Hmm.
Those mountains that you noticed off in the distance are somewhere off there.
I don't know where there is, but okay.
I should have revealed them. No, or you
I
wait.
see this. That looks like the green line is the shore, and the
And
blue
then
line is the river.
beyond that, can you look further away?
I mean, I see some jagged, crooked
Yeah, look at
mounds.
that
Okay.
shit. It's supposed to be spires, and then like long, tall gray spires.
Oh, wait. Okay, way up at the top. Okay.
Yeah. And then the top, so they look like gray spires, and the top bit is red, like a deep red, and like a red stone or something like that.
That's really far away. Okay.
Makes for an interesting looking. Yes, it is. That's off in the distance. They look pretty tall though.
Are these like spires, as in like large, like jagged rocks that stick straight up?
Yeah, yeah. But they look like they like maybe a mile into the sky.
Holy shit.
They look natural, not
Okay.
too regular to be man made. All right, so you get to about here, sort of pulling through that shore, and you hear the sound of singing. It sounds like a single woman's voice singing.
Sound nice?
Lovely song, yeah. It sounds.
Do I need to make a save versus spell?
You feel like you would if you were closer,
Okay.
but the effective range is actually pretty low. So yeah, so you hear it. I mean, it sounds pretty awesome. You kind of want to go close and have a look. It seems
I
like the
walk over
entire
the edge of the
rest
ship and
group
listen.
either can't hear it or is ignoring it.
Okay. I walk over to the edge of the ship and peer out looking for the source of the song.
You can't see a direct source, but it sounds like it's coming from that island.
Okay. I turn to one of the sailors and say, "What is that lovely song?"
He sort of he does this gesture or whatever the equivalent in this region is.
Right.
And that would be a siren.
A siren. Sounds strangely familiar.
Yes, temptresses of the sea. They generally keep to themselves, but occasionally will lure sailors in to loot their shipwrecks or take the men as slaves.
Oh. My kind of girls.
Okay.
Okay.
Aside from this guy that you asked, though, most of them seem to be either they can't hear it or they're ignoring it.
Okay.
I said before. So you're guessing they probably can hear it and they were expecting it and they know better than to have anything to do with it.
Okay.
Okay. So you pull on past that island
Mm-hmm.
up and that way. And I'll go ahead and... All right. And then you sort of round this bend here. So you see these rivers opening out into the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Just reveal all this.
What?
And then, what?
Just a lot of map got revealed all at once.
What?
What? Yeah.
Okay. So you see all these rivers spilling out into the sea.
Okay.
And you see a sort of a large, it doesn't look significantly different than the little fishing villages you see, other than it stretches for a larger stretch of coastline
Okay.
than all the little fishing villages you see dotting the islands.
Okay. Excellent. Well, I'm excited to pull into the town.
Okay. So the ship sort of pulls up this way. And on into port. There appears to be a crude palisade wall built up around this sort of random expanse of little huts and tents and things.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole coastline is lush and green. Seems quite a bit warmer than where you left before, even though it should be. I mean, it should be winter, but nice and warm and tropical. The birds you're seeing are more colorful than you're used to.
Okay.
And you pull on into port. It seems to be a relatively small port. Your ship is one of the largest ships in it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, yeah. So you lay anchor out to sea and get in small boats and take shifts going to shore.
Okay.
You were in the first ship, rowed by a couple of the random crew. As you're pulling away from the boat, you notice that the Moonblade is instructing some of the crew to unload a large, long, rectangular box into his boat that gets rowed to shore. You're thinking
How long is this box?
maybe 7 feet long, a few feet wide, with just the right size to fit a body.
Interesting.
Okay.
I would not have made that association. 7 feet wide, a few feet, or 7 feet long, a few feet wide. How tall?
Maybe like a foot or so deep.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So this village sort of straddles that river there. Appears to be a pretty wide, gushing river, maybe 200 feet across.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like islands and stuff in the middle, and bridges straddling from island to island, and
What are these bridges made out of?
wood. Pretty much everything's made of wood.
Yes. Much easier.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And then, yeah, so you row ashore. There's a small crude dock, but obviously nothing that can handle the big ship, hence it's anchored at sea.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you pull up to dock and you're dumped off on the port.
Excellent. Well, I don't wait for the Moonblade. He can find me. I know he can. So I immediately start wandering into town.
Okay. You thought that the docks at Solstice were diverse, but this is something else. The creatures you're seeing and the sketchy looking people, like you could have never imagined.
Damn
Yeah, so humans, demi-humans. There's actually a fair few of those lizard people. There's a couple of that look like that dog-faced man. You see one like 9 foot tall humanoid with long green skin, basically naked, long dangly arms down to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So you imagine maybe a troll or something of the sort. It's actually unloading crates from a boat.
Okay.
Okay, so you wander into town, I assume.
Yeah, I just kind of want to walk about, get a feel for what's going on in this place, see if I can't find out what lies at the heart of town, what is kind of like their
Yeah,
central
so
everything.
you wander around for a while. Most of the bridges just seem to be crude rope bridges with like wooden slats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of the shorter spans are more solid bridges, but yeah. All the buildings are crude huts or tents even. There seems to be you aren't finding much of a town center. There's a lot of like merchants with tents set up selling their wares. Yeah, but it doesn't seem to be any sort of town that you're used to. It almost looks like there's a palisade wall sort of enclosing this area, and then people are just putting up huts or tents wherever they feel like sleeping or doing their business.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I just want to keep looking around for something that looks like a holy site or something of great importance. Kind of like there was the tower in one town. There was the tree with the gazebo in the other place, and the other town had like a temple. So I'm kind of looking for something that looks like it would be an important, something important to the people.
Okay. I mean, you see a large building, a couple of like island, like on an island in the middle of the river that you start walking towards. You do pass a few like altars, maybe, but they
Okay.
don't like just like sort of on the side of. I mean, like on the side of the road, there's a gold
Right.
statue of some serpent with like dead flowers and
Hmm. Serpent and dead flowers, I do enjoy.
in front of it, but nothing that looks like a major whatever. So you get to the big building and you go inside. It looks like a crude temple, but nothing like formally organized or anything like that.
Hmm.
There's some sort of altar. You don't see any obvious like religious insignia or anything.
Hmm. Okay. How many islands did you say were in the middle of this river?
Uh, Maybe a dozen. It's
Okay.
yeah,
And with lots of bridges just connecting everything,
yeah,
and the towns on both sides of the river.
yeah. It sort of spans the whole river. The main
How
parts. Yeah.
broad is the river?
Is it 200 feet wide?
200 feet wide? Okay. Those are big bridges.
Yeah, they're not all that long though.
Yeah, I mean, they might have island to island.
Yeah, no individual bridge is more than like 25, 30 feet.
Okay, so no one bridge spans the whole thing. The only way to get from one side to the other is to go from island to island.
And you see a lot of pole boats
Okay.
or a few rowboats sort of punning around.
Okay.
Although it does seem to be relatively
How
rapidly.
many, judging by the, like, if you were to go from one bridge to another to get, like, across the river, we're not going by boat, how many, what's the right word to say, key choke points are there? Like, how many places, how many unique paths can you cross? Like, is there one island that all the bridges pass through, or are there, like, 2 or 3 islands that kind of limit the access?
I mean, there are a few larger islands, but it seems to be pretty irregularly
But I'm saying, like, if
organized. I mean,
what I'm looking for is the smallest number of bridges I could destroy that would prevent people from crossing from one side to the other. So I want to find, like, okay, if this bridge and this bridge and this bridge are destroyed, there is no more way to cross from island from shore to shore, that sort of thing.
um, yeah. I mean, if any, I mean, each island tends to only have maybe 3 to 5 bridges at most, leaving it. I mean, so if you cut any bridge, it starts to make things inconvenient. But it's not like there's a single route across. That makes
No,
sense.
but there's got to be a point where these 2 bridges or these 3 bridges have are more foot traffic than the others. You have like usually there's some sort of like primary.
Oh yeah, I mean there's a couple of like larger bridges that aren't just simple rope bridges. I mean, they do seem to be mostly made of vine and wood slats, but there are more complicated designs with like supporting columns or whatever.
Okay.
Suspension bridges.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to go to the local bar.
Okay. Yeah, there's nothing like what you're used to seeing in terms of taverns. You are able to find like a bar. It's like open air bar on the side of one of the streets.
An open air bar. The fuck?
This. So it's like a bar, and there's like someone behind it selling cocktails and crap. But I mean,
But there's no ceiling.
there's a row of seats, and there's like some tables scattered around.
Okay, but this is definitely like island life,
Yeah,
like Caribbean.
It's you assume it's winter here too, but it's like 70, 80 degrees.
Okay, I walk up to the bartender and I say, "Well, what sort of establishment is this? Where's the ceiling? Where's the door?"
You must be a mainlander.
This is not the mainland.
A dark-skinned man. It is a mainland, but that's just what the people say.
Interesting. Yeah. Can I get a drink, and can you tell me what the hell those spires are off in the distance?
Okay. So he starts mixing you together some concoction.
What the
He says,
hell? I always
"Oh,
wanted to be.
those are the blood spires.
Uh-huh.
Mm,
A little bit more info, please.
They reach to the clouds. Mm, it's so far upriver, most men can't make it, but
Why are
rumor
they
has it's
red?
where the wyverns lie."
Wyverns lie. Shit. Okay.
His eyebrows.
That's probably not a good place to go then, huh?
Good luck getting there.
Yeah. No. So, there's a lot of different folk around here.
Mm, Yes, the jungle's sort of spilled over into our little town.
Yeah.
Or perhaps it's the other way around. He hands you some sort of cocktail in an old wooden cup.
I sip it. Is it any
So,
good?
yeah, it's oddly like sweet and salty and kind of thick.
That's what she said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alcoholic. It's like I don't know. I mean, you probably never had any of these tropical fruits and whatever, so
Yeah.
tastes good, but a little confusing.
Okay. All right. So have you heard of the troubles in the east? I guess that would be what you call the mainland.
We're a long way from east.
Yeah.
Like I can't say that I have.
Oh, well,
Land
that's
is like
good.
trouble.
That's good because there have been some problems back east. They say all sorts of dark creatures spilling out of the woodwork. Fires started. People got missing. People dead in the streets. Holy symbols burned down. They say that a great evil has awakened back there and has been spreading this way.
I think evil's already here, man.
You think so? Where?
He points like west, upriver.
What's up that way?
The jungles.
You think the jungles are evil?
Not inherently. What sort of creatures you see crawling out of the woods?
I don't know. Back east, you mean? What creatures? Oh,
Trolls? Lizard men? Carnivorous
no.
apes?
Little devils riding on
We got them here.
miniature devils riding on disgusting beasts sized for them that spread magic and lies. Brownies on corgis, maybe, but I'm going to call them miniature devils riding
From your
their
perspective.
their tiny steeds, spreading magic and assaulting people.
I'd worry more about the big devils.
Well, the troll's not that difficult to deal with. The troll is obvious and is in plain sight. It's the dangers that you don't notice that are going to get you.
He shrugs and goes back to tending another customer or something.
Okay.
Um, about this time, you're startled to hear a voice behind you saying, "You freshened up?"
Yeah, Moonblade, I'm freshened up.
So Jarvis is that away, and he points up the river.
Do I need to worry about Jarvis? Is that where I'm...
Okay. We'll need to find a guide.
Wait a minute.
These rivers are treacherous.
I didn't realize you wanted to cash in on your debt right now.
You have more pressing matters?
I don't, but I figured this was a sort of... I'll need to call in a favor one day down the line. I didn't realize you needed something happening right now. Are we looking for the ruins?
He nods.
I heard about those.
That's where your powers will be waiting, aren't they?
Whatever you say. Let's go.
As I said, we need to find a guide.
Just walk upriver. Ask people along the way.
He sort of chuckles and shrugs.
Fine. I kind of wait for the bartender again.
Okay. He comes over. Yeah.
We need a guide. We're headed to Jarvis. Where do we find a guide?
Ah. He sort of nods. Will you be heading overland or by river?
Well, that's why we need a guide.
um, nods.
Can you point us in the direction of one, please?
I ask again, overland or by river?
I don't give a fuck. Overland.
Mm, I would talk with one of the gnolls. They know these jungles pretty well.
Can you point me in the direction of the knolls? We are fresh off the boat, so to speak.
Oh.
He points to a group of dog-faced men, sort of loitering together,
Yeah.
maybe 100 feet from the bar,
Mm.
cackling amongst themselves.
Thank you. And I start walking over to them.
The Moonblade sort of stops you and says, are you sure about this? They seem... gnolls are generally an untrustworthy lot.
I do kind of a look around. There's a troll. There's a gnoll. I named some other wild creature and another wild creature. Look, buddy.
There's a few human beings in the mix.
Yeah. Look. There's all sorts of weird shit going on here. Not to mention, I think you and I can take a gnoll between the two of us.
Sure.
Just saying. I'm not worried about the gnolls.
Okay.
Pussy ass Moonblade. I continue walking towards the gnolls.
Okay. He falls behind you. All right. There's 3 of them sitting in a semicircle. They're all well over 6 feet tall. Other than slightly different colored fur, they're pretty indistinguishable from the dog-faced man that mugged you in the street.
That's fine.
Cackling amongst themselves.
Okay.
And as soon as you approach, they stop.
Hey,
laughing
mutt.
Right at you.
I call it one of them.
The one in the middle. What do you want?
We want to go to Jarvis. You know the way?
He looks friend to friend. Yeah. What if I do?
Then I would give you some money and you would take us there.
He sort of looks you up and down and looks, yeah.
I mean, you do know some tricks, right?
Blade. We know these jungles better than most.
Excellent.
Sort of
How much
breathes
do you
out,
cost?
Rubs his paws together. 1 gold a day each.
How many days is it to Jarvis?
So it's counting 2, 3, maybe 3, 4.
Well, great. That guy's paying. I gesture to the Moonblade. He'll deal with the money. We leave tomorrow morning, okay?
He nods.
I got shit to do.
How many you need?
How many what? Guides?
Like
Just the one and the 2 of us.
your funeral, man.
You think it's that dangerous out there?
He shrugs.
No, I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
See you tomorrow, right here. Morning. And I walk back to the bar.
Okay.
And I also, as I walk back to the bar, I glance back at the Moonblade to see if he pays the guy, or if he protests about paying the guy. Or...
He does neither.
Okay.
You're assuming you won't pay him till tomorrow.
Of course, yeah. But I just wanted to see what he would, if he would do anything.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want to go back to the bar and just ask directions to the nearest general store.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You say general store?
Yeah, a place where I can buy shit.
Okay.
General
Yeah, it takes
store.
some elaboration, but the bartender points you to some merchants.
Excellent.
It seems like if there's not going to be like a general store. You may have to hop from merchant to merchant depending on what you want to buy.
That's
But
fine.
There seems to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also want to take a look at the buildings here. Thatch roof.
Yeah, they're like big, like leaves, like big not palm fronds, but
Right.
yeah, basically thatched, but they're
Right. Island lifestyle.
yeah, big like banana leaves or something.
Dried though, right? Not clearly they've been sitting there for a while.
Some of the new ones are still green,
Okay.
but mostly they're dried.
Okay. I want to go find myself some. Oh wait, you know what? It's been an hour. Why don't we?
We can take a break.
Why don't we take a break? We'll be back in 5 minutes or so.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys in 5 minutes with the second part of Dicing with Death. Bye bye.